Good evening, everyone. Hi, how are you? This is Rosemary Massaro, Craft with Ro. Thanks for joining me this Tuesday night on our show and share. If you're here with me, please say hello. Lets me know that we're going to go a lot, that I am actively live. And I'm going to write a little message here. Let us know where you're from. Tell us what the weather is like there. We hit another cold spell here, but it's supposed to slowly, gradually warm up this evening. So, this evening, actually going into the end of the week. So, tomorrow's still a little bit nippy, but I heard you guys up in the Northeast got a ton of snow. I hope everybody's staying warm and safe. So, I am looking to see if we have any chat going on. I don't see anybody. Where are you guys all tonight? Snuggled up? Okay, so I just want to share with you, please stay tuned towards the end. I have some really fun, awesome announcements. Hi, Nikki, how are you? Hi, Sharon. Yeah, I kind of figured you had some snow up there. I hope your travels yesterday weren't that badly impacted, Sharon. I know you were traveling. So we have some fun announcements that I am going to be announcing at the end of the show. We're also going to be announcing our month-end February prize winners. Do you believe it? It's the end of February already. This is crazy. February always seems to go by fast since they have stolen a couple days from us every year in February. But I want to share with you my newest class to go. And then we will have some fun playing, showing you a really fun technique with rubbing alcohol and with our markers. Here is the page layout, class to go. So in this page layout, you are going to get a half a package of DSP. You're going to get some of this beautiful gold etched ephemera and a ton of pre-cut items and a package of gems, these beautiful pearl gems. And then you also have the option of doing the card class. And this card class is 2 cards of each, right? How fun are these? Looks like I did a little bending there. You're going to get ribbon in the card class as well as a package of the gems. And again, here are those beautiful, got some of the accent pieces with vellum. And then we have this card here as well. So I didn't share the inside. I didn't have any fancy things in there. And that's just a plain inside there. So this is my class to go. The links have been sent out. They also can be found on my business page and group page. So please check them out. It's only available through March 1st. And those, let me just move this over here, that have signed up for my newsletter, thank you so much. I had a ton of requests and leads, and the free tutorial for the mini photo album you still have through tonight to sign up for the newsletter. That will be going out tomorrow morning. So now check out these fun cards. So I've showed similar technique of these in the past using alcohol inks, and this is using vellum and our Stampin Blend combo markers, right? And we're featuring, where did I put that stamp set? And I'm featuring this Shells Collection stamp. This is a 2-step stamping, and so fun, so easy. I can't wait to share with you on how fun to create those. But check out these beautiful cards. So what inspired me, guys, is a few months ago, we had a paper pumpkin kit that actually looked like it was actually more like this. But it had that watercolor ink kind of combination going. So I thought I would try to recreate. So we have a couple of these pens. Then I've done a couple of these in different colors, right? And then this one I absolutely fell in love with. I'm just like, I'm going to go crazy with some of these colors and see what it comes out with. And then here I just did a simple stamps shell on there with that. So we're going to create 2 cards. I'm going to do the best at trying to figure out what to, the colors to use. I have a variety of our combo markers here that I'm going to play with, but I never know what the color is. So I'm hoping I have the right coordinating cardstock to go along with this. So let's do this one first. Let me get my little all-purpose mat out here. The last thing I want is all this ink everywhere. So here I'm taking a 5.5. What size did I make this? It is 5.5, probably by 4, but we're going to be cutting this in strips. We're going to try to recreate this card here. I haven't cut all the accent pieces, so I can always do them after. So this is so easy, fun. You're going to need some rubbing alcohol. This rubbing alcohol is the 91%. You can use the other ones, guys, but honestly, the lower concentration doesn't work as well. I don't know why, but you're just not going to get that fun impact. So I do recommend the 91%. You're going to need a brush. I'm going to show you 2 different techniques, one using the fan brush and one just using a regular brush. And the first thing we get to do is pick out some of our colors that we're going to use. I think I'm going to do my best to try to replicate this. So I am going to actually shut off my face cam, if you guys don't mind. There we go. It was driving me crazy because my camera's not set right, and you would end up seeing just the top of my head. Okay, so randomly here, when you're using your Stampin' Blends, I do recommend that you use bold and bright colors as best as possible. It really creates a much dynamic piece. The colors tend to really stand out in bold. So, and so I'm going to use this, and then on your Stampin' Blend markers, you have the fine point, and then you have the brush point. So because we're randomly brushing around this vellum, I do recommend using the brush end. And I think the other color that I'm going to use is our Summer Splash. And again, I'm recommending going with the darker of the 2 colors. So here, I'm just going to randomly color in various spots. Now this sheet is much bigger than what I really need, but as you guys can see, I'm just going a little bit crazy with coloring, not in any particular direction. Hi Wendy, yeah, it is cold out there. Hey Deb, hi Pat, how are you? So some of you guys got to see this great technique at our Largo weekend event. It was fun, and this class was really, really well received. Now you can go with as many colors as you want on here. As you can see, I have no randomness method. I'm just scribbling. All right, here we go. So, and then you can always add more color after, but there are so many different things. Now, you don't have to color in every single clear spot here. I am going to go a little bit crazy on here, and I think I'm going to come back with a little bit more blue. So I'm just la-di-da, having fun, not having to worry. It's okay if you blend your colors over each other. All right, I'm going to go add some more blue. Okay, so the first technique I want to share with you, which creates more of this bubbly look. I'm going to try to see if I can find one here that's a little bit more bubbly. Kind of like this here. I have a page layout I'm going to show you in a little bit. And then there's also what I call, so this is I'm calling the sprayed effect. And then the other one I'm calling more of a pounced effect. So I'm just going to dab this on. And I'm going to flick it. And I'll bring it up so you guys can see it just a little bit closer. And see how some of it is running into each other? That's exactly what I want. It doesn't bother me at all that it's doing that. See how I have a little bit of the white spots right there as well? So then you can also take, especially where there's excess, and start dabbing it. I do not recommend that you go like this and start brushing it on. I'm just going to dab it a little bit where some of these white spots are, just to add some more color. And then we're going to need to let this dry. If you guys have not checked out our vellum, it is a very heavyweight, very sturdy. I don't know the poundage of it, but this vellum is amazing. And as many of you know, I have been on a vellum kick since they brought this back in to stock. It's, I love it. So you can also add some heat to it. I am going to bring the heat gun up just so we can get the show going. But please, please be careful when you're using the heat gun, because you don't want it to burn, and you don't want it to really, really curl. So let's add a little bit. I do like the way when you do blow it, heat it, how some of the excess kind of like the old technique with the rubbing alcohols and the photo finished paper. So the other thing I want to share with you is it dries fairly quickly. It really does. You can also go back and add some more. After it's dried, feel free to go back in and add some more color. I'm just doing this to show you guys. And then I'm going to do some more flicking. And it's just like an oxidized effect. And that is almost all dry already. You can see just a little bit of the glare. Hey Jane, I'm glad you can join us. So you're never going to get the exact same look every time. You can try to duplicate it, but as you can tell, I am going to trim this. Now you can stamp on this as well. I do recommend that you use a StazOn ink. You do have to make sure that it's completely dry. To recreate this card here, I'm just going to cut these in 1-inch strips. I'm going to flip this around to get some of that, more of that bubbly look. And what's fun is I have an extra piece here. So there's so much you can do with this. Think about this. I can actually take and stamp my seashell on here. And I can fussy cut that out. I can take a flower die cut, a leaf die cut, and have this as the pattern background. So many different ways that you can use this technique instead of just doing what I'm doing and creating a card. All right. So I'm taking my 8.5 by 5.5, and we are going to adhere this. Now, everybody said, well, does our adhesive show through? Adhesive is going to show through on vellum, our adhesive. But, however, the way this is colored and patterned in, it really doesn't show up. The only place that I saw the adhesive show through is on this little card right here, where I just put the little strip of adhesive right there under the vellum, and it did show up. Now, there are places that claim that they sell adhesive that works really well on vellum. So I'm just going to line that up right to the edge there. I'm going to do the same here. And once you take your vellum, I'm going to try to do this straight, but it's not coming out straight. See how it just pops even more on a lighter background? And now I'm going to share with you, like I said, on this particular card, I don't have all these extra pieces, but I do want to share with you some of the stamping techniques with this seashell stamp set. This has already come and gone, but it is back in stock. I think it returned back to stock yesterday. So we're going to take, oops, as you can see, these got really well used this past weekend. I'm going to take the blueberry bushel, and I am going to stamp that. Right like this. Now, this is the only stamp, this large shell in here, that requires you to use the other stamp and if you, I had to play around with this a little bit. Yep. So you have to put, oops. So this stamp set also has an engraved top on it and embossed and etched, however you want to refer to it. But if you want to line this up with a different color, you take that etched backing and you put it upside down. And then we're going to end up getting a solid color in here. And I think I'm going to try going with the Summer Splash for the inside of it. And it lines up, as you guys can see. I'm going to see if I can zoom in even more. Right? I'm going to line that right up. And there you go. So the other ones, stamps on here, are really just a simple easy stamp. I'm going to use crumb cake on this particular one. And I'm going to stamp with the etched side of the stamp. Now I am going to do some, what we call, is it going to stay on? Second generation. And this is happening. They've just been used and cleaned so much. This is the side I want. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get this to really clean off. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. We obviously don't need all of these ink pads open at the moment. Right, let's, let's see how I can do this, if I can get that. Anyways, the idea is to overlay it by going upside down. And now I have a two-toned one. And let's see if we can try this with another. Did you guys see that? I literally just put my finger in the ink pad. At least it's blue. It's my favorite color. All right, so we're going to do another one. Again, using the etched side. And I'm going to do the darker image. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to tell you, with our new ink pads coming out, that won't happen. And I have that announcement to make to you guys in just a little bit. So we're going to just flip this over. And again, we have, so in my opinion, the reason why they're sticking is that these ink pads are so juicy and so smushy versus our new ink pads, the ones that are like close to my heart. It's a hot off the press, guys, and we've been informed that we can share it. So let's hear some cheers. Yay! our close to my heart ink pads, the magnetic ones, identical, are coming back into stock. They're going to try out with the first 5 colors in May, and then eventually all of them over the next year or so will be brought in. So um, I'm so excited about that. All right, so then the next thing I would do is I would fussy cut these out because the stamp set does not come with coordinating dies, but as you can see, it's a pretty easy cut. And then I would layer them just like this, put a phenomenal sentiment underneath there, and then we would have a really beautiful, beautiful card. So I'm going to try one more to share with you guys. I'm using a smaller piece. This is, I think, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this one I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to try to recreate as best I can this one right here. So, and this one, I didn't do the flicking, I did more of the pouncing. So, here again, I'm using blueberry bushel. I think I'm going to add some, nope, I don't want Night of Navy. What is this? That's light blueberry bushel. I think I'm going to go with some melon mambo. Wrong end. Again, we're just going to do some fun and I'm going to go with, what do we got here? Darling Duckling. And then I'm going to go with some Granny Green Apple, the dark. And it's just so cool. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get this exact look because I said it's really hard to duplicate one from another. You can get close, but okay. So let's get these out of the way. And I'm going to take my other brush and we're going to just do some pouncing. And when I do my pouncing, I really like to get right around the edges of those colors. And like I said, if you're not putting it on too heavy, this dries really quickly. But I love, love, love how these colors are blending together. So you definitely get a different look when you're pouncing versus splattering. There. I think we're done with that one. And I'm going to put this over here. We're going to dry the background here. Now, if you have a lot that's just grasping all the way up to the edge, you can take a little napkin or tissue and just bring it up along the edge to take that excess water out. But I'm pretty good with that. I am going to bring my heat gun in again. And guys, really, it's pretty much dry. Now, again, it's still, I can see there's a little bit of glare here. So there are spots that are still wet. You'd want to make sure that, like I said, before, if you're going to stamp on this vellum, one, I do recommend that you use the StazOn ink. You can use, like here, I'll show you. I just stamped our seashell in our blueberry bushel, but I made sure that it was completely dry before I put it on there. This is water-based versus here. So you can get some smudging. Same with your inks. I can share with you. This one came out pretty good. With StazOn, I stamped the word celebrate. But on this one here, I used our Memento black ink, and it wasn't quite dry, so you can see that it kind of faded. And then I put my fat finger in the way. Because I'm impatient and I need everything to be done in a hurry. But look at this, once you mount this up to the white, and that's what we're going to do right now. Right? You're not seeing any of the adhesive that's on there. And doesn't it just pop? Right? I love this. So, I pulled out, because I'm guessing what's going to be the prominent color in here. So I pulled out the Melon Mambo cardstock. And I think that looks pretty good as a background. I bet you if I put on the against the blueberry, it would look as just as nice. So I'm just going to put this onto here. I'll figure out my adhesives, my embellishments, and or ribbon and sentiment later. But this video is really just showing you the fun technique that it is, right? So again, you can stamp on here. You can use it as a background to cut your die cuts on here. How pretty is it if you were to emboss it? And that's the really nice thing about this vellum. It's such a heavy weight that you can actually even dry emboss on here, and it doesn't crack like a lot of the other vellums that are out there, because they're a thinner weight. So they don't crack or rip. I just love our vellum. So we can decorate those later. Definitely wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to put these away, and we are going to, let's make some announcements before we make our, I had to reach out to Stampin' Up to make sure that it was okay. It was in our weekly updates. We get weekly updates every Tuesday of things that are happening. And a lot of times they wait until convention. So I was pretty pleased that they shared some of these updates with us today. I am going to convention in 2 weeks, so I'm sure there'll be more new information there to share. But we are so excited. I am. I was joking around on my leader's team page that I was doing cartwheels. So really very exciting news. is probably the top of my list is that they are going to bring in the magnetic ink pads that we've all been waiting for. I know my close to my heart customers have been. How can I tell? Because I don't sell a lot of ink pads. So the ink pads are identical to Stampin' Up's ink pads. Not to the, sorry, rewind. They're identical to Close to My Heart's ink pads. They have a felt cushion. So that felt cushion is a little bit embedded. All the same techniques, how you can create it as a palette inside, how you can do your swiping on it. Uh, very, very, very excited. So May, as we every year we come out with 5 new in colors. Those colors are absolutely gorgeous. Stay tuned. I'll be sharing them with you. Um, but there's 5 brand new colors. They are all going to be coming out in the magnetic cases. So those that still have your close to my heart organizers, good for you. I got rid of mine. Um, but they will fit in those organizers because they're exact same size, right? Those that have Stampin' Up trays, like I've converted to, they will still fit in there. They're a little longer than, um, than these ink pads, right? So Close to My Hearts is the magnetic, and it's probably about a half inch longer. Um, so, uh, it's just going to stick out on your tray a little bit more. I look at it as it's easier for me to grab. They are going to be coming out with redesigning some of the organizational tools that are out there. So, again, good news. I will share with you there will be a price increase. Um, I've heard rumors of what it is, but until I know for a fact, I'm not going to share the price increase. And there are going to be a few price increases. The other fantastic news that I think is fantastic news is that we are moving to 3 catalogs a year. So, those of you who are not on my customer list and want to, please sign up as my customer on my customer list. Just go to my website and choose me as a demonstrator and key in your information so that you can get a catalog. But the catalogs go out 3 times a year now. There will not be an annual catalog, that big thick one, and then 3 mini ones. There are going to be 3 mini ones, right? 3. And they're going to be on average, about 80 pages each. New design in the catalog. I got a little sneak peek of it already. So excited about it. So we're going to have a May through August catalog. We're going to have a September through December catalog. And then we're going to have a January through April catalog. I'm not calling a mini. 80 pages is not a mini catalog. But my customers do get, those that are on my customer list do get the catalogs for free. And I will start ordering those catalogs in March. So please, if you want to get join my newsletter, but really sign up on my website at www.craftwithro.stampinup.net. So very excited about that. Yeah, Jackie, I love them too. Yeah, Nikki, isn't that great news? So very, very excited. When they announced it, I had all I can do to keep my mouth zipped till today. So very excited. I want to just go back to our technique that we just did. I'm going to scroll down. I want to share with you this page layout that I created. So this page layout, I use that same technique down here, guys. I'm going to kind of bring it up just a little so you guys can see. But the cool thing is this is one of our new online exclusives that's coming out March 3rd. It's called Rolling Rock, and these are the dies and they layer. But when I saw this technique, I had to and I saw a card that, you know how they provide inspiration. So I saw the card and I'm like, I can redo this. So I created this bottom part here. The stamp set does have these little the dies has this little seashells here. And then this here is actually a stamp set that's supposed to like create shading within your water or on your rocks. Um, and I decided to take Versamark and emboss it with white embossing powder and make it as clouds. So a lot of fun with this page, but again, so many different ways to use this. This technique I'm sharing with you is not just for card making. You can do so much with it. So, phew. Okay. Who is ready for some prize giveaways? Right? You ready? Let's see if I can zoom in just a little. I got it. Oh, you know what? I'll use this. All right. So make sure you log in and add yourself as a customer to my website. And we're going to make the announcements for our February winners for the month. So thank you guys. I had a phenomenal month. I so appreciate you all. But I'm going to try to cover all of these and just announce one at a time. So I think we have it there. Much larger, right? Okay, so our overall top participation is Mitch DeFranco. Highest amount in comments and likes and um, let's see. So there's 3 different parts to top engagement, and Midge blew everybody out of the water. So Midge, congratulations. We do want to let you know that you and Ron are in our thoughts and prayers as well. I was not expecting you to be on here, but congratulations because you won $10 row rewards for top participation. So the next level, I give out 2 more prizes, and it's free product. So this can be gently used. It could be brand new. It could be 6x6 paper. It could be an embellishment. It could be ribbon. It can be ephemera. So many different options. So our 2 winners for our top participation, who is going to get Happy Mail in the mail to them, is Mary Eschenbrenner and Diane Dutra. Thank you guys so much and congratulations. And then, as we go down, this is going to be posted on our page as well. Our sales participation, $15 row rewards. So this is just random because everybody's name goes on the wheel that placed an online order in the month of February. So here we go. Nina Ramirez, congratulations, Nina. You won $15 row rewards. Yay. And then we're going to scroll down. And because it was such a great month, I am giving out 3 more sales participation awards at $10 row rewards. And these will be sent out in the mail to you guys. We've got Karen Davis, Judy Benzel, and Dawn Deneen. Congratulations, guys. You all won row rewards for the month of February. Boy, am I rushing this year, right? So, again, thanks, guys, so much. If you enjoyed this technique, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I so appreciate it. Always doing fun things here. I will be back next Tuesday as we do, next Tuesday, I'll be introducing to you some of the new online exclusive products next Tuesday. So join right here and you get to see it firsthand, all of my favorites. Now, I didn't buy them all, but I do have quite a few favorites and I get to share them with you next week on Tuesday. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great week. Yeah, that beach page does have me thinking of July, Debbie. So true. So true. Especially because it's so cold outside. So again, bye guys. Thanks so much for a wonderful month. Have a great week, and we will see you on Tuesday, March 3rd. Have a good one. Bye.